Live from KSAT 12, the news at 5:30 starts right now.
The local Ukrainian community coming together this weekend to break bread to encourage loved ones still in the war zone. European Dumplings Cafe raising money for victims of the war-torn country.
Yeah, the small business partnered with a local nonprofit to provide coats, boots, and blankets for families overseas. Alyssa Cole joins us live outside of that food truck right now. Alyssa, we know the group has already raised a lot of money.
Yes, Tim and Courtney, I'm here off of Petrenko Road where the co-owners tell me they've already raised $4,000 and they're looking forward to raising some more money now, of course, to go towards that humanitarian relief that you all mentioned. Now, I just want to give you all a little background. Now, European Dumplings Cafe partnered with the nonprofit Ukraine San Antonio to host this 3-day fundraiser that started back on Friday. Now, the business is serving up a bowl of its popular dish called borscht, and it's filled with chicken, potatoes, tomatoes, and tons of other hearty ingredients just for a $5 donation. Now, we spoke with the co-owners and the husband. He tells us this mission is personal for his wife because of her connection to Ukraine.
She's from Ukraine, and obviously she has a lot of relatives there still, family, relatives, friends. So even though she's tired of cooking and preparing, she wants to keep doing it to help family down over there.
Now, again, like we mentioned earlier, this business has already, raised $4,000. And of course, they're looking to raise more to help give those coats and boots, like you mentioned, to those people overseas. Now, you have a little bit, about 30 minutes left to come out if you want to come out and support. But if you can't make it, that's okay. We did speak with the owners and they tell us they definitely plan to do this again sometime in the future. Alyssa Cole, KSAT 12 News.
Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky elated while sharing with the world that the eastern city of Lyman is, quote, completely liberated, unquote. It is in the Donetsk region, and on Saturday, the Russian Defense Ministry said Russian forces had retreated from that city. Russian state media reporting that Ukrainian forces fighting with Western-made artillery and using intelligence from NATO countries were the reasons for that retreat. This marks Ukraine's most significant gain since its successful counteroffensive in northeastern Kharkiv region last month.
Back here at home, San Antonio firefighters had to use aggressive measures to put out a fire at a northwest side apartment complex this morning. Just about after 5, crews were called out to the 11,400 block of Vance Jackson between Wurzbach and Huebner to the Trails Elm Creek apartments. When they got there, flames and smoke were pouring out of the top of one of those buildings. It took firefighters about 30 minutes to put out the fire. No injuries were reported, and they're still investigating the cause. San Antonio police say 2 17-year-olds failed to make a clean getaway after allegedly robbing a man on the east side. Just after 9 o'clock last night, officers were called out to the 900 block of South Walters for a robbery in progress. They were told the suspects, a boy and a girl, robbed a man and took off down Martin Luther King. Someone was able to give police a description of the vehicle, and officers were able to track those suspects down. Both were taken into custody and booked for aggravated robbery.
Now to the aftermath of Hurricane Ian and its impacts. We've spent a lot of time talking about the destruction and how it impacts people, their homes and businesses. But what about the animals, both at zoos and wildlife sanctuaries?
Well, this morning, members of the San Antonio Zoo staff packed up and hit the road for Florida. Our Jonathan Cotto explains how our local zoological disaster team is equipped to offer that help.
We definitely want to take some time out and be able to offer some assistance.
Crews with the San Antonio Zoo gearing up and heading out to lend a helping hand in Florida as part of a zoological disaster response, rescue, and recovery in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian.
So we've basically been spending the last couple of days just trying to get together as much material as we can. It's a little further of a trip than the last time.
They are off to one of the many areas destroyed by Hurricane Ian, Punta Gorda, Florida. Crews say they will be responding to the needs of the region's zoos, aquariums, and other facilities housing non-domestic animals.
Basically, once we get there, our goal is going to be just to start working on clearing brush and getting the debris and stuff, getting the facility kind of opened up.
A lot of the work will also consist of fence repairs and electrical welding. Malsav says the San Antonio Zoo first sent their support units to assist Houston's downtown aquarium and Texas Zoo in Victoria during Hurricane Harvey.
And then once we did that, the zoo industry as a whole kind of recognized the need for recovery and responses, because there's been other situations with other zoos and facilities around the United States.
The San Antonio Zoo says they are now one of the largest and most experienced deployment units, serving most recently in Louisiana following Hurricane Laura in 2020.
We're fortunate to help out there, and we really kind of learned a lot from that experience as well, and we just continue to grow.
Crews are expected to return to San Antonio next Saturday. We are wishing them safe travels and are keeping all the animals and people affected by Hurricane Ian in our thoughts. Reporting outside of the San Antonio Zoo, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Florida going to need a lot of help, obviously, in the coming weeks and months, and we hope you'll help us as we extend a helping hand to those touched by the devastation of Hurricane Ian. On Monday, we will be hosting a phone bank, in partnership with the Red Cross to raise money for the relief efforts in Florida. Those phone lines will be open from noon to 7 on Monday. We'll release the number to call tomorrow.
They give so much and ask little in return, but today pet owners lined up to have their pets blessed. The story is next.
More now on the cleanup and desperate search for survivors in Southwest Florida after Hurricane Ian tore through last week.
Yeah, President Biden scheduled to travel to the disaster zone on Wednesday as the death toll continues to rise. At least 79 confirmed deaths across the state, at least 4 more in North Carolina.
ABC's Rena Roy has the latest from Naples.
Days after Hurricane Ian struck central and southwest Florida, new images revealing the troubling transformation. In Volusia County, homes underwater, the roof of this Chuck E. Cheese collapsed. After flooding forced its shutdown, a 14-mile stretch of I-75 in Sarasota County has reopened, though rising water levels could cause the critical highway to close again. In nearby Northport, more flooding, neighborhood streets submerged. For many, help can't come soon enough.
We just like a little help. I'd like a little help to get my home back in shape because I have nowhere to go.
Food and water running low on Sanibel Island. Ian cut them off from the mainland.
With the causeway and the bridge out, that makes it look really difficult for us to get assets on the island.
These newly released satellite images highlighting the storm's destruction. Governor Ron DeSantis saying the return to normal won't happen overnight.
We understand that they're working on connectivity. We understand they're working on cell phone service. We understand they're working on getting the electrical back.
Further north, coastal South Carolina now recovering from Ian's Category 1 landfall Friday.
We live 2 doors down from the pier. We watched it crumble and watched it float by with the American flag still floating, and it's pretty intense.
The weekend storm now churning northeast. Justin Finch, ABC News, Venice, Florida.
All right, turning to a furry companion you might have at home. They are part of your family, and you want them to be around for as many years as possible. That's why October is National Pet Wellness Month, to promote the importance of pet health and wellness all year long. Dogs and cats age 5 to 7 times faster than people. That means an annual visit to the veterinarian is like us seeing a doctor every 5 to 7 years. So it is important that your pets get to wellness exams at least once a year.
And sticking with the pets, clergy over at St. Mark's Episcopal Church falling right in line with looking out for the well-being of animals by offering blessings. Today, the church hosted the Blessing of Animals to honor St. Francis of Assisi's love of creation. This year, the event was hosted as a drive-through event and in person. All types of animals, as you can see, were welcome to be blessed. The Blessing of Animals recognizes our furry friends and family members and the unconditional love they give.
All right, taking a look outside with live cam here this Sunday. Looks a little bit different out there right now compared to where we were this time yesterday. We've got some high clouds that are filtering across south central Texas, all thanks to Hurricane Orlene, actually in the far eastern Pacific. We'll take a look at that. But thanks to those high clouds filtering across the region, temperatures just a little bit below average for this afternoon. We'll get a quick look at those in the low to mid 80s. You can see what that looks like looking down there from space. We'll hold on to that if you're stepping out for any evening plans. More of the same conditions in store as we head into the upcoming work week. All of those details coming up in a bit.
Well, after this morning, I did not want to come inside and get ready for work at all. I just wanted to stay out there all day long. It was gorgeous.
Absolutely. It definitely felt like the fall season out there early this Sunday. Let's take a look at those morning temperatures. Really here in San Antonio, we officially dropped down to 58 degrees over at the airport, which makes this morning the coolest morning that we have seen since late April. So definitely welcomed feel out there to kick off our Sunday. Again, we have those high clouds passing across south central Texas, which has actually held our temperatures down just a little bit more this afternoon and now heading into those evening plans. Currently in the low to mid 80s for the majority of the area, upper 70s near the Bernie stage area in southern Kendall County there, 83 at the airport right now, 84 in Converse, 83 out in Hondo, and 81 out west in Uvalde. But again, you can see that cloud cover filtering in from the south as well as the west. That continues to stretch all the way across Mexico, and that is thanks to the parent system, Hurricane Orlean, which is over 730 miles away from San Antonio. So absolutely incredible how far those clouds have been able to travel here today as well. Here's the latest on that system. Currently a strong Category 3 hurricane there in the far eastern Pacific that is expected to continue moving farther up to the north here over the next 24 hours, making landfall along the western coast of Mexico there tomorrow. But then notice here it quickly gets torn apart thanks to the elevated mountainous terrain over that region as well. So we're not really expecting any huge impacts here, minus that upper level elevated moisture that is lofted into the upper levels of the atmosphere, pushed farther up to the north and the east thanks to those upper level winds. That's why we are expecting more of that mid to upper level cloud cover to continue as we head into the upcoming work week. But still here at the surface, we still do have relatively drier air in place. That's why it feels so comfortable to step out to. So still a fall-like morning as we head into the overnight hours. Those temperatures fall into the 50s and low 60s yet again, maybe a few degrees warmer than what we officially found out there this morning, thanks to those high clouds filtering through. We are expected to hold on to those in some way, shape, or form throughout the duration of our Monday. Temperatures in the low 80s as we head into the early afternoon hours. I think mid 80s probably is where we will sit by this time tomorrow afternoon and into the evening as well. It is very, very possible that we find an isolated stray shower off to our southwest closer to the Rio Grande. But again, any of that moisture that tries to fall, we've got all that dry air here at the surface, so don't have a lot of high hopes for that actually making it here to the ground. Most of us will stay dry, and unfortunately that really is the case throughout the upcoming work week. We've only got a 10% chance for a stray shower by Friday and into Saturday. Definitely could use it, so we will hope for a pattern change here soon. But just looking at it in an optimistic way, at least we still do have some comfortable mornings in the works into the work week as well. We'll start off in the 60s here in San Antonio. Temperatures slipping around to the upper 80s as we head into the middle of the week, more so around that 90-degree mark on Thursday. And again, only that isolated chance for rain as we get ready to head into the upcoming weekend, guys.
Fingers crossed for that rain. I know we need it.
Yes.
Thanks, Mia.
Somehow, some way, Andrew, Cowboys continue to find ways to win with a backup quarterback.
Yeah, I think most of us thought the season was pretty much over without Dak in the lineup, but since Cooper Rush is in, Cowboys ripped off 3 straight wins, including this afternoon against Washington. When we come back, we'll talk about who made the difference for the Cowboys, not just Cooper Rush. Plus, San Antonio FC got to celebrate last night as regular season champs. Got that too next.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Dallas Cowboys go for their 3rd straight win without Dak Prescott under center at home against the Commanders. Dallas up 6-0 in the second quarter when Washington takes the lead. Carson Wentz drops an absolute dime to Jahan Dotson. That's a 10-yard touchdown, and the Commanders go up 7-6, but the boys answer right back. Cooper Rush rolls out to the right, got plenty of time, and he finds Michael Gallup in the back of the end zone for the 9-yard score. Welcome back, Gallup. Dallas heads into halftime with a 12-7 lead. Both teams trade trade field goals in the third quarter, but the Cowboys pull away in the fourth. Rush slings it to a wide open CeeDee Lamb for the 30-yard touchdown. That makes it 22-10 Dallas. And while the offense is humming, the defense is doing its job, keeping the Commanders at bay. Wentz is picked off by Deron Bland. That's Dallas' second interception of the game. And the Cowboys win their third straight game, 25-10. With more on the victory, here's our Larry Ramirez.
All Cooper Rush does is win. He's now 4-0 in his career as the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, including 3-0 this season. Now aiding his cause today, the return of wide receiver Michael Gallup, who played in his first game following ACL surgery in February.
If you ain't got butterflies, I mean, something wrong with you, to be honest. You can't just go out there and not have butterflies, coming off an injury or not. So, yeah, my stomach was definitely turning. The first play goes up, I'm good.
I mean, he looked like Michael Gallup. Big time play, run the back of the end zone there, getting open. Big time third down, like I said. Drew the holding call, which, he beats the guy off the line right away. I mean, he's gone. And another PI. So big time player. We're really happy for him. That was, I think, big for him, just to go back out there and, I'm still Michael Gallup and can go make plays, and it's really going to help us.
Tonight on Instant Replay, we will break down Gallup's return and his long road back. Andrew, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. Meanwhile, the Texans still looking for their first win of the season at home against the 1-3 Chargers. Picked this one up in the third quarter. Houston trying to rally down 27-7. Davis Mills finds Rex Burkhead for an 8-yard touchdown. That makes it a 2-possession game. Then on the next offensive series, the offense stays in rhythm. This time, Mills hits Brandon Cooks on an 18-yard strike. That's the first Texans touchdown to a wide receiver this season. It's part of a 17-0 run that pulls Houston within 3 points, 27-24. Chargers do answer back. Justin Herbert dumps it off for Austin Eckler, who dives for the pylon and the 14-yard touchdown. That's his third of the game, and it essentially ices it. Houston drops their third straight game, 34-24. Doug Peterson returns to Philly as the Jaguars take on the Eagles on a rainy day. Late in the first half, game tied at 14. Handoff goes to Kenneth Gainwell, and he does Gainwell right up the middle for the 10-yard touchdown. Philly heads into halftime with a 20-14 lead. They rush for 210 total yards and knock off the Jaguars 29-21. Giants hosting the Bears this afternoon. New York up 7-6 in the second quarter. Daniel Jones fakes the handoff, rolls out, and he just strolls in for the 8-yard touchdown. That's his second rushing TD of the game. Giants back in the win column. They take it 20-12. It didn't take long for Texas to take down West Virginia in a much-needed bounce-back performance at home yesterday. The Longhorns scored touchdowns on 5 of their first 7 offensive possessions. Quarterback Hudson Card was in control the whole game, completing 21 of 27 passes for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns. Head coach Steve Sarkisian says Card has played admirably since filling in for starting QB Quinn Ewers, who was hurt during Texas's loss to Alabama.
He hasn't been 100% either, and he's been fighting through it. And I think he's earned, not that he didn't have it before, because he had a lot of respect of his teammates and coaches before, but I think over the past few weeks he's earned a lot of respect, even more than he had, of just him going out and playing the way that he plays. And, to me and to our team, it doesn't feel like we're playing with a backup.
The Longhorns will next take on OU in the Red River rivalry. Oklahoma fell out of the rankings entirely after a brutal loss to now number 17 TCU. This was the scene in San Antonio FC's winning locker room last night, celebrating a 1-0 victory over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and clinching the USL's point shield for the first time in club history. Carter Manley scored the match's only goal in the 86th minute, and now San Antonio has a league-best 73 points. They're 23-5-4 overall, and they've clinched home field advantage throughout the USL playoffs.
Incredibly proud of the collective. Regular season champions, first in club history. You guys have broken a number of different records over the course of the season. Incredibly proud of all of them. Yes, we can be honest with ourselves. It wasn't our best performance, but you have to find ways to win, and the guys did tonight.
San Antonio has 2 more matches left in the regular season. They will enjoy a first-round bye now through the quarterfinals and will host the Western Conference semifinals at the end of October. And finally, congrats to Tariq Woolen, the former UTSA cornerback, now at the Seahawks, recorded his first pick 6 of his NFL career. This is a 40-yard return in Seattle's 48-45 victory over the Lions. I know UTSA is getting a lot of positive press right now. It's great to see these guys go into the NFL and succeed there as well.
Love seeing wins from our locals.
You got it.
Thanks, Andrew.
We'll be right back.
All right, one final look at that 7-day forecast into the upcoming week. I wish we had better news in the rainfall department, but at least temperatures aren't too bad. Comfortable morning 60s, flip around to the 80s, near 90 by Thursday into this week as well. We'll keep eyes on it.
The swim season continues. That's all of our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here for the Night Beat tonight at 10.
Have a good evening.